Showers of blessings today and always. Today's message is based on the discourse that I had listened to on is death a blessing or a curse? It was a beautiful eye opener for me. It opened up a whole new world of understanding and perspective towards life and the universe. So we have two stories today, and I'm just going to narrate the story. I'm not going to go into the essence of the story because I want each one of you to take home the message that you receive from these stories. And I don't want to intrude on your personal perception. So the first story is about Bhishma's past life. Bhishma was one of the 8 Vasus. They are celestial beings. And he was the eldest of the Vasus, and his name was Prabhas. And one day when the 8 Vasus were walking around with Prabhas's fiancée, they tend to look down on earth and they see this holy cow Kamadhenu of sage Vashishta. Instantly, the fiancée gets attraction towards the holy cow and she demands to own it. Instantly, Prabhas tells her, it is not right to want someone else's things or belongings, and that is of sage Vashishta, and we cannot ask him for it. But she kept forcing and she kept being stubborn on wanting Kamadhenu. So they go down and they ask the sage if he would give it. The sage refuses. So when they return, she, knowing very well that the sage had refused to give the holy cow, she still demands that she wants it. So the 8 Vasus plan to steal the cow from the sage, and they do steal it. When the sage returned to his ashram and he saw that his holy cow was not there anymore, using his yogic powers, he immediately knew what had happened. So he uttered a curse on the 8 Vasus. The minute he uttered the curse, they come pleading to him. Sage Vashishta cursed them that they will have to go down to earth and live a mortal life. And they were very upset and they begged him to give a cure for his curse. Sage Vashishta thought about it and he said, okay, 8 of you will be born as human beings, but the 7 of you, since you had done this theft just to assist your eldest brother, the 7 of you will come back to heaven within a month of your birth as human beings. But the eldest will have to remain. And since he had taken the holy cow from me just for his fiancée, he will have to live a life of celibacy. So they go and ask Goddess Ganga to be their mother through whom they can be born on earth. Goddess Ganga immediately agreed and she came down to earth and she married King Shantanu. Now before their wedding, the goddess will just tell him there is one thing which you have to say okay to me if you want me to wed you. And that is, whatever I do after our wedding, however it may seem to you unreasonable, cruel, whatever, you should never question me. The minute you question me, I will leave your life. King Shantanu, enamored by the goddess Ganga, instantly agreed and said, your deeds will never be questioned. So the marriage takes place and Ganga has her first child. Within a month, Ganga carries the baby, the newborn baby, and flings it into the river. Shantanu shocked, but he keeps quiet because of his words that he had given as a promise to Ganga. Now 7 sons are born to Shantanu and the goddess, and Ganga repeats the same thing. Every time a baby is born, within a month she takes the baby and flings it into the river. And one by one the 7 Vasus go up to their heaven happily. Now when the 8th son is born, that is the eldest of the Vasus, and again when Ganga takes the baby to go and fling it in the river, this time Shantanu is unable to refrain. So he goes and stops Ganga and says, how could you kill each and every child of ours so cruelly? Ganga turned and told him, you've gone back on your words. I told you my deeds should never be questioned. So I cannot stay with you anymore. And she takes the baby too, and she walks away from his life. And Ganga brings up her son for 25 years under her care, and then she sends him as a young man to King Shantanu as Bhishma. And we all know Bhishma did lead a life of celibacy. So this is one story. And the other story is about Ravana. Now this story I'm about to tell you was something so different. It was from a beautiful perspective, and this is from the book The Enchanted Forest. And I love the way the author had written about Ravana's previous birth. Now when Ravana is on his deathbed on the seashore of Lanka, hurt very badly, he wished to see Sita. Sita very reluctantly but still goes, since he's a dying man, she would want to fulfill his wish. So she goes to the seashore, and there she sees Ravana on Mandodari's lap, really breathing his last. The minute Sita approached him, Ravana just looked at her and wondered, what connection does this lady have with me? Because he felt a sort of some unknown bond, unknown attraction for Sita. So just as he was breathing his last, he stretches out his hand and he places it on Sita's feet, as if begging for forgiveness. The minute Ravana places his palms on Sita's feet, a beautiful smile comes on his face, and he says, yes, now I understand why all this had taken place. Sita too closes her eyes, wondering what Ravana is saying, and another beautiful world opens up in her mind too. And Sita recognizes that world to be Vaikuntha. And she can see Lord Vishnu relaxing on Sheshnag. And it's a beautiful place. And she sees Vishnu's gatekeepers, two gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, who are a great devotee of Vishnu and who literally place their life at his feet. And Vishnu turned to Jaya and said, Jaya, I am going to sleep for some time. I'm too tired. Make sure no one disturbs me. And Jaya said, my word, your Lord, I will make sure no one disturbs you. And as Lord Vishnu lies down to sleep, Sita recognizes the face of Lord Vishnu that it is Rama, her husband. She's surprised. And then she looks around. She sees if she can see herself anywhere there. But she's unable to. Both the gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, move out. And as Jaya shuts the gate and turns around, Sita is shocked to see the face of Jaya, for that was Ravana. Sita was so surprised. How could Ravana, such an ardent devotee of Vishnu, who had come down in the form of Rama, could have such an enmity against him? And then she hears children arguing with Jaya and Vijaya. The children are asking to be allowed in to see Lord Vishnu. And Jaya refused, saying, upon my life, I am here to ensure that my Lord has an undisturbed sleep, so I cannot allow anyone to go near him. The children are no ordinary children, they are sons of Brahma. They are actually sages. So they instantly tell Jaya, we are the sons of Brahma. You cannot stop us. And we are great devotees of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu has always been open to receive his devotees anytime. Jaya said, no, I cannot allow you inside. Maybe you can wait till the Lord wakes up from his slumber. Instantly, the sons of Brahma get angry and they curse. And they say, since you have stopped us from going and meeting our Lord Vishnu, you will have to be away from your Lord for 7 lifetimes. And you have to be born as a human being on earth. The minute the curse was uttered, the gates flung open and Lord Vishnu is right there in front of all of them. And Sita is watching all this in her mind, watching all the happenings, and she wonders how she never even saw Lord Vishnu get up from Sheshnag. The next minute he was there outside. He received the sons of Brahma very happily, and they paid their respect and they left. The minute they left, Jaya and Vijaya are at Lord Vishnu's feet, pleading to do something regarding the curse, because they cannot imagine living even a second away from their Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu said, I cannot do away with the curse, but we can think of something. There are two options for you to think about. One, you serve the 7 lifetimes as the sons of Rama had cursed you. And when I come down to earth, you can be my devotee or my friend. Or the second option is, you can just take 3 lifetimes and you can be my enemy. It's up to you to choose. Instantly, Jaya and Vijaya say, we will take the 3 lifetime because we cannot stay away from you long. So, Jaya and Vijaya take the lifetime as Ravana, and as Vishnu comes down as Rama, there is the enmity between them. Just then Lord Vishnu hears a voice at the back and says, who says, I will definitely accompany you when you go down to earth. So Lord Vishnu instantly turns and sees that it is Lakshmi, his consort. And Sita, when she sees Lakshmi's, goddess Lakshmi's face, she realizes that it is her. Now all the pieces fall in place. She realizes that Lord Vishnu, Goddess Lakshmi, Jaya and Vijaya, they are all down on earth for human experiences. And she opens her eyes, and with that beautiful smile on Ravana's face, he tells her to place her feet on his head. And the second she does it, with a smile, he leaves his body. Beautiful stories to give us a very profound message. We are all spiritual beings here on earth for human experience.